All right, good morning everyone. Today is October 24, 2022 and your exam schedule will be this coming Wednesday and Thursday. So this video lecture is intended for us to review, for you to review or revisit the different topics or concepts that we have just learned or you have just learned inside the class. Although some of the topics that are included in this review session are those topics which we did not able to cover. Okay, most especially the Alfred Wegener's theory or Alfred Wegener's evidence to prove that there is really a plate tectonics or the Earth is really moving. All right, so we'll go directly. We'll proceed to the most important thing this morning. Okay, so this morning you are going to you will be able to define what continental drift theory is and who came up with the continental drift theory. Whose idea is this, all right? And what was the evidence, or what are the evidences provided for to support that theory? All right, so in your in the screen, okay, you can see there the different illustrations of our Earth. The first, we have the how our Earth looks like 200 million years ago, and after that, 100 million years ago, 70 million years ago, 30 million years ago, and even up to present. Now, as you can observe, from the Pangaea, okay, very long time ago, 200 million years ago, our Earth or the landmass looks like that. So there is only one large landmass. We call that Pangaea. But later on, okay, as the Earth age, okay, makikita natin na nag-move yung mga different continents. Okay? From the Pangaea, it scatters. Okay? Nag-scattered siya into different continents. And we all know that there are different mechanisms inside our Earth that will explain why this phenomenon or the different or this mechanism has been observed at this present. Okay? Bakit naghihiwala yung mga continents natin? Okay? Today, okay, this is how our Earth or the world looks like, okay? So from Pangaea, 200 million years ago, this is your Earth now, okay? Separated or scattered, we have the different continents. We have Asia, Russia, North America, South America, and many more, right? So whose idea is this? Okay, who proposed the idea that the Earth is moving? Although we have learned from the past that there are scientists who try to explain the slab pull, the convection current, the ridge push, but there is this one scientist that explains that there are evidences or there are evidence that he can provide na dapat talaga nating paniwalaan na our Earth is really moving, and he called this, okay, theory as continental drift. Nagdi-drift yung ating continents. And he found evidence for Pangaea, okay, that's an important word today, Pangaea, and proposed the theory of continental drift. And who's that? That's Alfred Wegener, a German scientist. You pronounce that Wegener, not Wegener, ha? All right. So the idea or the theory of continental drift says that theory that continents were once part of a single landmass that broke apart and have moved to their present locations. And they can drift apart from one another and have done so in the past. That's basically the idea of continental drift. Meaning, in simple terms, okay, the Earth before is just only one large landmass, okay, and a single landmass. And eventually it is scattered or separated into different pieces. We call that continents because these continents or part of the pieces drifted away from each other. So that's continental drift. Now, the Pangaea is the name given to the single landmass that was present 200 million years ago. So basically, very old na talaga ang ating Earth. Okay? Imagine how our Earth looks like 200 million years ago. The question is, may mga tao ba na buhay dyan during that time? May mga ano na ba? Mga ano bang existing existing life or mga organisms during that time? Okay, meron na bang mga plants? Meron na bang mga animals? Okay, we will learn that later. Okay, so this Alfred Wegener, a German scientist, proposed or provided a lot of evidence. Okay, and number one evidence is that if you are going to i-puzzle mo daw, i-combine or i-fit mo daw itong lahat ng mga continents, they can be fitted together like a puzzle pieces. Okay, for example, what we have done in your classrooms, okay? Last week, di ba, I gave you this activity na i-puzzle niyo yung mga i-complete niyo yung pieces, yung different puzzles, okay? Tapos i-fit niyo. Wegener, okay, is correct na if you are going to fit, okay, the edges of these continents, okay, mag-fit talaga sila. Like in the case, okay, like in front, like what you have just seen on your screen, di ba? This continent, the upper part continent, there are three actually, okay? Kung i-fit mo sila, it will create, or it is, parang they are meant to be, meaning, mafi-fit mo talaga sila. So meaning, these separated continents today, okay, were, buo yan sila during or 200 million years ago. So that's one evidence Wegener provided for. Alright? And another one are these animals or fossils of plants and animals existing during the time of Pangaea. Okay, this is another evidence. We have the fossil evidence. So these fossil evidence are remains, yung mga remains, okay, of living things that lived long ago. Similar fossils have been discovered in matching coastlines on different continents. Very simple lang. Look at the screen. So you have how many continents, okay, that you can see in that screen? We have Africa, South America, India, Antarctica, Australia. Now, these animals or organisms, like for example this one, is found both in South America and Africa. We all know today that South America and Africa are separated already. Malayo yung agwat nila. When you are from South America and you wanted to travel to Africa, it takes you, kailangan mo mag-airplane, kailangan mo tumawid sa dagat, okay? Meaning, today, South America and Africa are separated already. Continents which are separated already. Okay? But this evidence, okay, the fossils as evidence, will make us think that, tama talaga na South America at Africa before were once, anong tawag dyan? Sila? Dikit sila. Sa Bisaya pa, dikit. Uban sila or nag-usa sila. Because the remains or the fossils of this type of animals, like for example, the one na makikita natin sa South America, ay makikita din natin sa continents ng Africa. Okay? So meaning yung mga remains nila, it's very impossible na makikita mo itong specific na animals ito na continent at sa kabilang continent din makikita mo. Tapos, nag-separate sila. So, this will tell us na siguro si South America at si Africa before is, dikit or kauban or sumpay lang sila. The same with any other animals or fossils. Like for example, this one, yung nasa blue na shade, may mga fossils na makikita sa, what do you call this? Southern tip ng South America. Makikita din siya sa southern tip ng Africa. So meaning Africa and South America were once compact or dikit na sila before because of these fossils evidence. Okay? And we have also this in India, okay? Some of the fossils or remains of these animals found in India, Antarctica, and Africa. And imagine, okay, these animals, okay, cannot, they have different characteristics. And for example, if you compare Antarctica and India, now India is hotter, and Antarctica is not as hot as India now. Pero if you are going to think of this one, bakit may mga buhay, may mga remains makikita sa Antarctica, mayroon din sa India na fossils. So meaning, during the time, okay, nabuhay pa itong mga fossil, mga remains or mga living things, meaning, si India and Antarctica, ano na sila? Okay, they are compact before. Okay? So I hope you get my point. Okay? Medyo lutang ako today. Okay? But this is one of the evidence that best explain why there is, or the earth or the continents are drifting, or meaning are moving apart. Alright? That's the fossil evidence. Okay. This will illustrate to you, okay, how the fossil evidence is being used by the scientists to explain the continental drift. Okay? So these are the animals. For example, the cynognathus, okay, which are found both in South America and Africa. So imagine, is it possible for this organism, cynognathus, to travel from this portion of the land, South America, to Africa? Okay? And to think na si South America and Africa this day is very away from each other, meaning you need to lango, you need to travel. There is so much distance, ang layo nila. Okay? So it is impossible, kung itong mga cynognathus buhay ngayon, it's impossible for them to travel from South America to Africa, because today, South America and Africa continents were separated already. Okay? Distance, masyadong malayo sila sa isa't isa. So it's very impossible for cynognathus to travel. So ano yung possible explanation? Siguro, 200 million years ago, si Africa na South America, compact lang, meaning nagkadikit lang yan sila. That is why this cynognathus, okay, able to travel from South America to Africa. So my point is, indeed, there is really a continental drift theory. Okay? So this will help us convince that there is really a continental drift, because cynognathus, that animal, the fossils of these animals are found in both continents of South America and Africa. Alright? So that's number one. The same with any other fossil remains. Like for example, this one, Lystrosaurus, okay, which are found, the fossils are found in the continents of Africa, India, and Antarctica. The same with this Mesosaurus, okay, which whose remains are found on the continents of South America, Africa, India, Antarctica, Australia. So, to make the story short, okay, for these animals, or for these very old animals, to travel from one continent to the other, it requires a lot of energy, di ba? Kung separated na ito before, okay? Siguro they had able to travel from one continent to the other because these continents are one. Okay, meaning Pangea ito sila lahat. They are compact, meaning hindi pa sila hiwalay, hindi pa separated itong mga continents. So this will help us, or this evidence will help us or convince us to believe that there really is a drifting, or there really is a continental drift. Okay, naghihiwalay or nagmo-move yung mga plates natin. So that's a very good evidence. Another evidence provided by Wegener. Okay, you pronounce that Wegener, huh? Are the mountains. Okay, some mountain ranges on different continents seem to match. Okay, yung mga continents, yung mga mountains daw sa edges ng continents. Like for example, okay, sa ranges sa Canada, mag-match sa Norway at Sweden. And for all you know, okay, sa kalaman nyo, yung Canada at Norway at Sweden, fronting yan sila, meaning, tawag dyan ha, nag-atbang na sila. Si Canada, ranges ni Canada of Norway. The same with the Appalachian Mountains, nag-atbang po na sila sa UK Mountains. If you fit them together, i-puzzle mo sila, okay, meaning, ang kining mga mountain ranges ng mga pattern nila, kung isumpay ni mo na sila, ano sila, mag-fit sila. Okay? Murag na the same pattern nga makita nimo kung i-fit nimo ni sila nga nag-atbang nga mga continents with these mountains. Okay? So that's another good evidence provided by Wegener. Alright? Another one, we have the glacial deposits, okay? Or we call this one climatic evidence, such as glaciers in areas that are now close to the equator. Okay, very good example din ito. Why? For example, in the illustration, letter A, okay, so may mga glacial deposits dyan, okay, or glaciers. Kung i-fit mo siya sa katabi niya na continents, the same pattern lang. Okay? So meaning they were once large mass. These continents are before compact or magkadikit lang ito sila. And the same with this another continent. Okay? Meron siyang glacier formations which can in fact be fitted, okay, sa mga edges din ng different continents. So may pattern siya sa glaciers. Okay? And these glaciers are located close to the equator. So, on the second illustration, if you can see that, if you if you try to fit them together, okay, it looks like before, ano sila? One landmass lang sila, Pangaea, because the pattern is the same. Okay? So, yung location ng glaciers, okay, yung mga glacial deposits, including glacial deposits, are located in that one portion. Okay, kung i-fit mo sila together. So that's another evidence, the glaciers or glacial deposits. And today, because the technology is, because of the innovations, technologies are there already to check on whether there really is continental drift or whether there is really movement along the plates, okay, or the lithospheric movements. Meron bang mga movements? We have now the technology of satellites, okay, the laser geodynamics. So this time, today, hindi na pahirapan sa mga scientists na i-check whether or not the Earth is really drifting or the continents are really drifting, okay? Because we have now satellites used to measure the movement of the continents. All right, so this morning we have just learned that there are a lot of evidence that can support the theory of continental drift. We have the fossils, the fossil remains. We have also the glaciers. We have also the mountain patterns. Okay, kung i-fit mo sila together, it seems that the continents before were together, okay, or magkadikit sila before. We call that Pangaea, okay. And because of this evidence, it will help us, okay, it convince us na totoo talaga ang drifting ng continents. Alright, so I'll post another video to explain another evidence, the magnetic reversal. Thank you very much.